Good morning. Bob Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show, News Radio 840 WHAS. Hello.
Hi, Bob. This is Kathy.
Yeah.
A seller picked another offer over mine because I have an FHA mortgage. Is that allowed?
You know, I've heard this before. Brian, what about FHA mortgage? Why is there such a shadow over an FHA mortgage by some sellers?
You know, sometimes when that happens, I try to educate some of the agents because I think a little bit maybe remember stuff from back in the day when maybe FHA was a little more difficult. But I mean, for the last 13, 14 years that I've been doing this, it's pretty much just another normal loan. I think the appraiser kind of looks at some things a little bit differently. But as far as the speed and the turn times and everything else, it's pretty much a normal loan.
So I thought about this in detail because I'm thinking this is not the first time I've heard this. In fact, I hear it on a regular basis. And I came up with an answer, that lays the blame squarely at the feet of the government sticking their nose where they shouldn't have. When the government changed the regulations, giving appraisers, the FHA appraisers, the requirement to not only do an appraisal but also do an inspection, that's where the problem began. Yeah. So even though the buyer, the seller, the real estate agents have all agreed on what the repairs needed to be, and everybody signed off on it, here comes an appraiser who's been given the power by the government to look for other things that the government thinks is important. And whether that's important to the seller or not, it doesn't matter. Things like drains running slowly, peeling paint, things like that. And sure, peeling paint is a sign that it needs to be fixed, but that should be the requirement of the buyer, the new buyer, not the seller who is selling the home and has already discussed and agreed to what is needed to be done for the buyer that's purchasing the home. So I know the government's not listening to me, but I would tell you, folks, sometimes they put and we all know this, they put their nose where they shouldn't, and they did this here, and that's why I think FHA has gotten a bad name, because you've got these inspectors, and the appraisers are doing what they're being told. Nothing against the appraisers, but to have them inspect, I was told when this ordinance came back out years ago, they were handed a book and said, memorize this, and this is what you need to look at when you're going out to appraise a house. So now they have appraiser and their inspectors, which from a book, not from any teaching. So just my 2 cents on it, Kathy. I'm sorry that you had to deal with it, but that's what I would tell you to do and go from there.